Let's now join Jimmy Hill at the England headquarters. Jimmy.
Well, I reckon that it's going to brighten up the second half, as Terry says, and I'm sure you do as well, Bobby Robson. What do you think of the first half, though?
Well, I think for a first World Cup match, James, it's gone very well. A classical beginning by the Italians. I mean, they did this in the last World Cup in '82. They scored 1 goal in 3 games. They're not going to concede in the first half hour of the match under any circumstances, so they built on that structure. And yet in Altobelli and Calderisi, they've got, I think, 2 very good first-class forwards. Strong down the left with Cabrini, and I think now that they've got this goal, that puts them in the driving seat. It's exactly what they wanted. They planned it that way, I'm for sure. Warming up, you know, towards the end of the first half. They'll consolidate and, again, stick to the good principles of good defensive play for the first 20 minutes after the break. They won't let the Bulgarians get in.
Can I ask you about the pitch or the grass?
Well, it does look very long, I must say, and the pace of the ball is very slow on the ground. And yet through the air, and actually the ball's going to fly. Players seem to have difficulty in running with the ball, you know, on the grass. It did seem to stick a little bit, running on trickle, as it were. It is very long. I mean, last year it was very long for us, and it's probably that, you know, that's the texture of the grass.
Does that make up your mind on anything, or give you ideas as to tactics?
Well, I do think, obviously, for people who can run with the ball and dribble, it's a bit sticky. It gets under people's feet, doesn't it? But, you know, you still have those sort of players who can go past opponents and get in good crosses. Because the only time, really, in my opinion, that the Bulgarians looked dangerous was when they did get down the outside left position. One good crosser, because that really, if you're going to beat the Italians, you won't get through the middle with a sweeper and the man-for-man markers. You've got to work the flanks, get balls across the face of the goal. The only time they've done that was the only time they've looked, in my opinion, like scoring. And the chap was just a little bit late, half a yard short, maybe on the cross.
We know the Bulgarians have got to go for goal in the second half. That's one great thing about it. But the Italians, who, my tip, my European tip, shall we say.
Thanks,
you know, sorry about that, but you know more about them than anybody. And you've been very informative, actually, while we were listening to that half. Do you think they have a realistic chance?
I think the Italians have a very realistic chance, yes. They will, in my mind, definitely win this match now. The Italian based their game on defensive play and breaking out from the back. And we saw an instance in the first half where Calderisi played a great ball in for Altobelli, who was unfortunate he didn't quite get his shot in on goal. We've had another incident with Di Napoli just screwing one wide when I think if it had stayed slightly calmer, he might have hit the target. But defensively, they're very, very sound. And I must agree with what the manager said. The only way, basically, the Bulgarians have a chance is to go down the sides of them and whip the ball across. But then again, they're great defenders, and you've got to get past them down the flanks.
Discipline in the England camp, you can see, is perfect. Agreeing with the manager, but never mind.
I want a game.
Bob, could I come back to the England camp now? The latest news, really, on all your worries.
Well, it's good. I mean, I'm optimistic that perhaps everybody will be able to put themselves up for selection on Tuesday, other than Trevor Stevens. He's got a nasty bout of tonsillitis. If his wife is watching, he's okay, you know, we're looking after him. But he's put himself out of the first match anyway. Robson yesterday the other Robson had his best day for 2 weeks in training, joined in, worked competitively with everybody else. He's had no reaction to that this morning. He's feeling much better and good and with, you know, well within himself. I mean, Gary Lineker is fine. Clinically, he's in superb condition, quick and bright and looking to play.
And cheeky.
And cheeky.
He wasn't the first half.
That's right. But he has got this plaster cast over a pretty painful wrist, but it is improving daily. That's a day-by-day thing, but I wouldn't think by Tuesday that, you know, Gary Lineker's would be a doubt in terms of selection with the wrist.
So would you say with Brian Robson, your policy would be to play him, see if he stands up?
Don't think we can protect the captain anymore. I think if he's fit, if he's not fit, we can't play him. If he's says to me, look, I feel good, I'm confident, I feel certain about myself, he's in. Can't leave the captain out. We play the first match with the best team we've got.
8 out of 10 chance?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Certainly going up to 9 and 10, yes. And with 3 more days to go.
So we go back to Desmond with good news. 8 out of 10 chance of Brian Robson playing.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you, gentlemen, very much indeed. Now,